In darkness I lingered mid doubt and despair. Since bondage long held me a captive to care. But Jesus delivered my soul from its chains. His precious blood cleansed me from sin's guilty stains. The world and its pleasures did tempt me to stray. I saw not the danger that lurked on the way. The toils closed around me, I knew no release. But Jesus has found me and given me his peace. Get right with God, his pardon is free. Get right with God, he's waiting for thee. Our Jesus is calling, oh come unto me. Take him, O sinner, and get right with God.
Hello, hello! I will share with us 7 signs that one is truly converted. So stay tuned. Hello, hello! I would like to share with us 7 signs of true conversion. Number 1, growth. In 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 26, it says, "And the child Samuel grew on and was in favor both with the Lord and also with men." So basically, signs of growth will entail, is there growth in their faith? Is there growth in their witnessing of other people, growing friendships in the Lord? The fruits will show in their life of someone who's actually growing in the Lord. The things that they used to hate, they now love. The things that they used to love, they hate. And it's a constant, always wanting to learn and grow. So that's sign number 1. Number 2, unashamed of Jesus. In Romans chapter 1, verse 16, it says, "For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation to everyone that believeth." When we are not ashamed of Jesus, when you first give your heart to him, you say I do to all the vows you've promised before the world, the angels, and God, and you promise to follow him wherever he leads you. Well, guess what? When we're really unashamed of Christ, it's not just about telling others about him, it's living it as well. When people see a true change in your life, they see the things that you used to love, you now hate, and the things you used to hate, you now love. People will say, there's something different about you. Tell me more about this Jesus in your life. Or, you used to think this way, how come? And they'll ask you questions. Instead of us sometimes always pushing ourselves on people, people themselves will be drawn because of you were drawn in your private closet to Christ. This is also being unashamed of him. When one is converted, when you love someone, you're not ashamed to talk about them, right? Well, it's the same principle when it comes to Christ. You see, Christ did so much for us, and there's so much we can do in return. And we owe it back to him. We owe back our life, our hearts, our whole being. So why not talk about him? And it's not about just speaking, it's living. When people see Christ in us because of our love for him, they will see there's something different about you. I want to know, what God do they serve? And in doing so, this is also being unashamed for him. Sign number 3, spiritual minded. In Romans chapter 8, verse 6, it says, "For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace." Are you living constant of turmoil? You have unsettledness in your mind. You're not at peace. There's no life but death. Well, you're carnally minded. What do I mean by that? Do Do you have the spirit of condemnation, criticizing, and all kinds of, you're taking in evil, surmising, and so forth, and even thinking evil is carnal-minded, and not giving the benefit of the doubt. You know, love says, love thinks no, in the Bible, in 1 Corinthians 13, it says, love thinks no evil, right? And so, the first thing that comes out of our mouth, is it life or is it death? Are we at peace or we're in constant turmoil in our minds? This is evidence if we're carnal-minded or spiritual-minded. Number 4, associate with like-minded people. So in Psalms 1 verse 1 it says, "Blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked, or stand in the way of sinners, or sit in the seat of mockers." It's very clear. Those who are converted will associate with those who are converted or like-minded as well in that direction. You want to be around people who encourage you, who edify, who lead you closer to heaven and Christ. But the opposite is true. When you're amongst people who mock, who criticize, who do not seek godly counsel from Him, these are the people you want to stay away from. And as someone who's really converted will not associate with such individuals because they want to grow. Number 5, you compare yourself to Jesus and not others. In Galatians chapter 1 verse 10 it says, "For do I now persuade men or God? Or do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, I should not be the servant of Christ." So this clear passage is evident. We want to compare ourselves to Christ, not people. When we seek to look what's around us and not above, we have a tendency to have jealousy, judging, and all the carnally things that when we're not converted, we tend to do. And so when we look to Christ and not to others, it will make us have a sense of how unworthy we are, and we won't feel self-righteous, because that's the opposite extreme, is when we feel we arrived, or we act as though we arrived because we're doing all the right things by works and so forth. Not that works we're not judged by, but it's important that as we seek to compare ourselves to Christ, we will feel our nothingness, and that will encourage us to grow even more. Number 6, you front bite and not backbite. One friend of mine, a sister, I love this. She would share this to me for the first time, saying, I never heard this term front bite. And I think it's a good point. You know, when we're truly converted, we will not seek to backbite or talk behind one another's back. And those who truly are converted will have the courage to face the person and tell them what they see is wrong or what so have you. They will not necessarily talk behind your back, because technically, if they talk behind your back, well, obviously they could twist things around and they don't have the courage to face the person, which means there's some falsehood attached to it. So if you're truly converted, the Bible does say that they should find the 144,000 even, they will have no guile or deceit in their lips. So if you truly want to seek to be like Christ, as Christ would, he would be very forthright even with the Pharisees, the religious who had appeared pious. He had the courage and boldness, as it says in Proverbs 20 verse 1, it says, "The wicked flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are as bold as a lion." So we want to be bold, not bashful or harmful, but bold and honest and loving enough to tell the truth to your face and not behind your back. And lastly, the 7th sign that indicates that we are truly converted is teachable spirits. Yes. So in Psalms 25 verse 5 it says, "Lead me in thy truth and teach me, for thou art the God of my salvation. On thee do I wait all the day." And so when you think of the Israelites, when God was leading the people for 40 days and 40 nights through Moses, he promised them to, if they obey and they follow, they could enter into the promised land in Canaan, a land of milk and honey. But what's interesting about this connection is that milk is associated with spiritual babes, or babes, those who are willing to grow. And we want to be like childlike faith, and not childish rather, but childlike. and always want to learn. And what I love about children, they always love to learn. They ask questions. They just sit there with amazement and they just want to hear and learn and grow from it. And so just like how we truly want to be like Christ, and think about it, in heaven, he's always going to be teaching us. So might as well start here on earth and always learn to grow. And so one who is truly converted will not have a sense of arrogance like they know it all, but they'll more have a spirit that they're willing to be taught and to grow. And so that's the 7 signs that I have for us. Hope it was encouraging. If you're new to this channel, feel free to subscribe, like, and share this video if this has been a blessing to you and has ministered to you as it did for me personally. And speaking of that, I need to grow as well. I'm more than willing to learn. If you have things you want to share, feel free to comment below this video as well. So God bless you, love you, and let us stay connected and drawn to Christ. Bye for now. As you can see, I have my homemade lentil sprouts packed with nutrients, a lot higher than cooking lentils actually. And we have here the homemade hummus with roasted organic almonds, almost gone, but I do have plenty in the freezer, the chickpeas that's already cooked, so we'll definitely make a new batch of that. That's what I've been up to these days. Hello, yes. So as you can see, we have here ready prepared homemade granola. It's always good to have ready-made foods for emergency situations. As you can see, I have made 2 huge batches of granola. Very great sustaining food. You could add your lentil sprouts to it. You can add your organic raisins to it later, or seeds that are already pre-soaked or undried. Yeah, and even your goji berries. I love goji berries. My son loves it too. And packed and loaded with antioxidants. And this is really a great way to kickstart your day. And I also had my homemade gluten-free pita and homemade hummus, as we saw earlier in the video. So that's pretty much it. If ever, let's say, you're interested in knowing more about health or hair care or even other tips along with that guideline and so forth, feel free to visit the website www.restoration.com. I'll post the link below the video. If you're new, feel free to subscribe, like, and share. And feel free to share with me what you've done, what homemade meals you prepare in the home, ready-made foods that you would like to share as well. You can comment under the video below. So that's it. God bless you, and happy planting, happy care, and happy cooking. God bless. Bye-bye.
Get right with God, His pardon is free. Get right with God, He's waiting for thee. Our Jesus is